So today, we will begin in a comfortable seat. You can sit on a chair, you can sit on the floor, you can sit crisscross applesauce, or you could sit with your shins down in a block between your ankles, or if you don't have a block, maybe it's a folded blanket between the ankles. So find a comfortable way to sit, a way that lets your spine grow tall and your sit bones feel rooted. And if you are seated on the floor, there's this anterior tilt to the pelvis. So the pelvis starts to feel like it's shifting forward. Then the shoulders start to shift so they can stack over the hips, and the crown of the head can grow nice and tall. And just let your hands rest facing down on your thighs. I'd like to start off today with a pranayama practice. This is called Sitali breath, and it's meant to be cooling. I think it's a great tool to have as we start to head into the summer season and warmer days. So it's a little bit different than your traditional yoga practice. Oftentimes we're told to breathe in and out through the nose. With Sitali breath, the air comes in through the teeth, through the lips. So imagine as if you had a little straw between your lips and you're sucking the air in through the mouth. Your mouth isn't like wide open, it's just slightly parted. So it kind of looks like this. And then the exhale comes through the nose. So let the lips gently seal and take the exhale through the nose. And what I want you to notice here is the temperature of the breath. So when you inhale through the teeth and the lips, it's slightly cooler. When you exhale through the nose, it's slightly warmer. So you're inhaling cool air, exhaling warm air. Okay, so we'll try that for about 1 minute. And continue to relax the shoulders. Let your eyes closed if you haven't done so already, and we'll begin. Inhaling through the teeth. Exhale through the nose. Slightly part the lips, take the air in through the teeth. Gently seal the lips, air through the nose. Again, open your mouth, take the air in. Exhaling through the nose. Two more rounds, just continue on your own. Last exhale here through the nose. Good, now just let the breathing be neutral, in and out through the nose. Keep relaxing your shoulders, keep lengthening out through the spine. And then let your chin draw in towards your chest. And start to draw a half circle. One ear moves off to one shoulder, back down through center, and then opposite ear, opposite shoulder, just a semicircle with the head. And so the next time that the right ear moves to the right shoulder, you can start to maybe explore full circles. The chin can move up towards the ceiling. The left ear comes to the left shoulder. And then all the way back down through center. Continuing this same direction for about 3 full circles. Take it slow. The next time the chin draws towards the chest, let's pause there for a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Start to draw those half circles. And then left ear moves off to the left shoulder. Chin starts to move towards the ceiling any amount, so don't crunch the back of the neck too much. Just any amount the chin wants to come up. Opening the throat, then right ear to right shoulder, chin to chest, drawing that full circle in that same direction 3 times. Chin draws down towards the chest, pause, breathe in, breathe out. And then if you are sitting cross-legged on the floor, suggest you switch out the crossing of your ankles, opposite shin comes in front. If you need to adjust your seat at all, if you're in a chair or with the shins down and sitting on tops of the heels, if it's getting uncomfortable, feel free to change. Just a little bit more, and then we'll come into our longer held shape. So stretching the arms out wide. Big breath in. Your exhale, right arm crosses on top. Grab your opposite shoulders. Let your elbows draw down. And then you can stay just like this, or you can take forearms together, wrap at the wrists, bring the palms together. Whatever it is that you're taking, it doesn't matter. We're just going to move the elbows up and down. So breathing in, the elbows rise to the level of the shoulders. Breathing out, pull the elbows into the navel, round the spine, curl the chin in. 3 more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull the elbows in. Twice more. Good, and then we'll release the arms, big breath in, spread them out wide. Exhaling, left elbow on top, left arm on top. Grab your opposite shoulders and then let your elbows relax towards your chest. You can feel free to stay like this or bring the forearms together, cross at the wrist, palms come together. And again, as you inhale, the elbows are lifting to about shoulder height. You exhale, round the spine, curl the chin in, elbows come towards the navel. 3 more times in this way. Inhale to lift, grow tall. Exhale to round and curl in. Inhale, lift and grow tall. Exhale, round in. Last round all the way through. Breathing in, release it, unwind the arms, stretch out. And exhale, relax your arms. So we'll set up for our first longer held shape, and it will still be seated. So if you're sitting on a chair, I recommend coming onto the floor or your mat. And again, I highly recommend taking something underneath the sits bone. So a folded blanket works really well, or if you need some more height, you can use a cushion or 2 to sit on top of. But the point is we are elevating our hips with this shape. Okay. So we'll take a butterfly. We'll bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. And then I want you to allow the hips to relax a little bit so the heels move away from the hips. So it's more like a diamond shape, and it's less like this squished diamond shape. So your feet move away from your hips. And then if you want, and you have an extra blanket, you could take that blanket underneath the outer edges of the heels just to give it a little extra padding. And just grabbing the inner ankles, lengthen out through the arms, find that nice tall spine, big breath in. Just stay here for your exhale. So we'll be in this shape for about 3 minutes, and you are more than welcome to forward fold. A couple of things if you are going to forward fold. you can support yourself with some cushions. One of my favorite ways to use a firm cushion is to just bring it to vertical, rest my arms on top. I can rest my chin on top of my arms. And then when the hips start to open up a little bit more, when the spine relaxes, the neck feels okay, you can bring it more down to a ramp, a reverse incline position. So if you need to add some height underneath the top edge of this pillow, you can stack things underneath it, or you can let it rest on top of the feet. So anywhere along this trajectory, you're just allowing the chin to rest in towards the chest, allowing the spine to round a little bit, the shoulders to relax. So don't worry about binding hands to feet. Just let this be really soft. Relaxing the jaw. Relax the shoulders. Notice the hips. Do you feel one side of the hip more than another side? What about the knees? Do you feel the knees? And check in with the ankles and the feet. Now come back to your breath. Keep relaxing. It's a little bit under a minute here, so if you want to forward fold a little bit more or change the height of your props, feel free. Last big breath in. Big breath out. And then start to unfold, grow tall. Take your time. If you're using that cushion, just set it off to the side for now. And then we will come into our second shape. So take one of your blankets if you have an extra one. This is optional, but I recommend it. And roll it up into a nice long kind of Tootsie Roll shape. And then extend your right leg out long. Slide that blanket, if you're using it, underneath the back of the knee. You could always bend the knee a lot more and use pillows underneath this leg, or if it feels okay to lengthen it out, this is fine. And we're doing this whether or not you can straighten your leg to keep a subtle bend in that knee. It protects the knee joint from hyperextending. And then if you need to adjust your sits bones, whatever it is you're sitting on, I'm going to turn over this right leg. Again, you can use some sort of cushion underneath the torso. You can sit upright, allowing the chin to relax, or you can forward fold any amount. Again, letting the arms be soft, shoulders relaxed. Take another 3 minutes here on this side. Again, don't worry about reaching for your foot. Let your arms be soft. Just let them rest somewhere around the foot or the leg. There's no need to bind hand to feet. Let your shoulders relax. Notice where the weight is in your sits bones, right to left. It might feel a little bit uneven. And that's okay. We're just bringing awareness there. What often happens is the tissue that is the tightest is where we'll feel the sensation first. So oftentimes, maybe that's the low back, somewhere along the spine, especially if you're attempting to forward fold and it's feeling forced. That's a signal from your body. Maybe you just back out a little bit. Maybe you sit upright for a little while. And stay with your breath here. Just a little under a minute left if you want to explore a deeper shape, or if you need to back out from a deeper shape. You can make those adjustments now. Three more deep, long, slow breaths in and out through the nose. Start to unwind. If you're in your fold, take your time. Move that cushion out of the way if you're resting your torso or your head on it for a moment. And just extend the legs out long. Bring your fingertips behind your low back. Lift your heart. You might draw the head back and lift the chin. And we'll set up for that second side. Just switching out the legs. And if you're using that rolled blanket underneath the knee, switch it off to the left side. So you're bending your right knee, sole of the right foot in towards the thigh. Adjusting the sits bones if they feel equally weighted now, that's ideal. And when you come into that fold, that might start to shift a little bit. It's just something we notice. And so you start to find that first sensation. Maybe that means for you, you're sitting up here, relaxing the chin and the forehead. Or maybe that means you're starting to come into a fold of some sort. Be mindful of any forcing or any grasping. Keep the shoulders soft, relax the spine, let the forehead draw down. Let your fingertips relax, your toes relax.
Noticing where you're feeling sensation on this side. Keep coming back to your breath. Just under a minute. If you want to change positions, back off, or go further, feel free. Last 3 deep belly breaths. And start to back off of your fold. Take your time to grow tall. And this one will be quite the opposite of our forward folds, just to neutralize the spine. So you'll take some kind of cushion and turn it horizontal across the top edge of your mat. And then you'll need something underneath the back of the head. So this cushion, it could also be a set of stacked blankets. Maybe you take like 3 blankets and stack them together, or you stack a couple of pillows so you have some height there. This height is for the thoracic spine. This is the upper back or the chest. And then another piece of prop underneath the back of the head where the head's going to rest. So the idea here is that the arms and the shoulders get this little valley in between. Thoracic spine and the chest get a lift right here. And the armpits rest just above that top edge of the cushion. So we're kind of counteracting all of the forward folding we just did. And take a few minutes to adjust into the shape. When you lengthen out on your back, feel free to bend your knees and plant your feet, or you could do like I'm doing, extending the legs and taking something underneath the back of the knees. And then check out your arms. Are the armpits above that cushion or whatever it is that's underneath your upper back? Check out what's underneath the back of your head. Does that feel like enough height? You're going to know if it's not because the chin will be jutting up towards the ceiling. So you want to neutralize your spine. Maybe you fold the blanket over again, or you add an extra blanket so that chin is in line with your forehead, not above it. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Relax your arms. Long, deep belly breathing. Last few breaths here. If your legs are stretched out long, start to bend your knees and plant your feet. Recommend rolling off to a side and just pausing in fetal position for a moment. And then take your time to press your way off of that cushion. We'll take one more fold. And I'm going to give you 3 different options for this fold. So the first option will be seated, just like we've been taking most of our folds throughout class. And again, I recommend elevating the sits bones, bringing the sits bones to the edge of that cushion so you start to feel that forward tilt of the pelvis. And then I highly, highly recommend taking something underneath the backs of the knees, just like a rolled blanket, if you're taking a seated forward fold. And then when you're ready, you can start to let this be really soft. You can fold into it. Let the chin draw in towards the chest, let the upper back round. And that doesn't work for everyone. It might not feel great on your neck. Certainly if you have a slip disc or something along those lines, I don't recommend taking that as your fold. I'll give you a second option, which would be to stand up. Take your feet a little bit wider, so outer hips width distance apart. Bend your knees and relax your head. You can grab your opposite elbows here. Just let the head dangle. You can let the fingertips reach down towards the floor. Okay, so that's option number 2. And then option number 3, I only recommend this option if you have a really healthy neck and cervical spine. So if you know that you have a really good vertebrae, healthy disc in between your neck, you lay down onto your back, pick up your feet, arms coming down alongside your body. And then this one moves into Halasana plow pose. The feet come up and overhead. You're rolling some weight onto your shoulders. Okay, so if that doesn't feel good, again, don't take it. Take one of the first 2 options. I'm going to take a standing forward fold today. So we'll be here for another 3 minutes. Settle into your shape if you haven't already. Start to relax the shoulders, relax the jaw. Try to stay really soft through the arms. Notice what you were choosing and why you were choosing it. And how does it feel in your body? And if you've chosen one of those 3 shapes and you're noticing the breath is short and shallow, or you're really forcing or straining, I recommend backing off, especially if it's in that plow position in Halasana. You can always release that and roll into Paschimottanasana, that seated position. If you're standing on your feet and hinging at the hips, you could sway the body a little. Keep bending the knees. About 3 more breath cycles if you're still in your shape. Really slowly unwind. We'll meet on our backs for a final twist and then head into Shavasana. In your twist, feel free to take some padding underneath the back of the head. A folded blanket feels really nice, especially when the twist is supine and we're working to relax the shoulders. It's what I recommend is keep the neck as neutral as you can until your shoulders just naturally fall to the mat and relax. So what I guess I'm saying is, in your twist, if you notice when you twist off to one side, if that opposite shoulder pops off the mat, take something underneath the back of the head. Maybe it's a folded blanket, just a little bit of elevation. That should help the shoulders relax and the neck neutralize. Okay, so you can take any twist you like. We're going to take the knees off to the left, so the right hip's going to stack on first. There's a lot of different twists you can take. You can cross the legs, Garudasana legs. You can just simply stack the knees. You could extend the legs out long, bind hand to feet. You can take the knees wide, feet wide. So kind of explore your twist. Notice which one suits you best. Take 2 minutes on each side. Keep relaxing your shoulders, relax your throat, relax the back of your head. And let the eyes close here. One more deep breath in, deep breath out. Take your time to unwind. Adjust the hips back in line with the shoulders. You try not to be on a hurry to head off to your second side, but rather just take a minute here. Breathe in and out. Let the spine settle. Let new blood and oxygen wash through the joints. We'll set up for a second side. So maybe you explore that same thing. Again, you can cross the legs all the way. Garudasana legs. You can simply stack left leg on top of right leg. You can extend the legs out long. You take your knees wide and your feet wide. Knees are moving off to the right, left. Hip is on top this time, whatever variety of the twist you're taking. As you settle into the side, notice the shoulders. Can you relax both shoulders? And the back of the head rest. And you soften the throat. Where do you feel the sensation? Deep, full belly breaths. Last couple of breaths. Take your time to slowly unwind. Move the hips back towards the midline, in line with the shoulders. Feel free to keep the knees bent, planting the feet. Just take a few moments here. Feeling any new sensations through the joints. New sense of energy, a sense of openness, perhaps a sense of release. From here, we'll come into our final Shavasana. We'll do things a little bit differently today. Normally, I couple yin with Yoga Nidra. But today, we'll just take a simple Shavasana, about 3 minutes, and we'll close with a reading from a book called Meditations on the Mat. So take the next few moments to set up your Shavasana using your props as you like. I always love taking something underneath the backs of my knees in case you haven't already gathered that much. Something underneath the back of the head is nice. And then I like to add some weight to the belly. This is a little trick for the parasympathetic nervous system that triggers rest and digest to have weight on the stomach. It's kind of like having a gravity blanket concentrated on the belly. Once you've settled down onto your position, move the shoulders away from your ears. Slightly tilt your chin towards your chest. Flex your toes towards your face. And then let your feet relax. Flop open. Let your palms face upward. Take a big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Feel your eyes sink heavy into their sockets. Relax all of the muscles of the face. Shavasana. So there's nothing left for you to do here. Just relax. Open yourself to the possibility of receiving, perhaps the possibility of surrender, or whatever word you prefer. As you lie here on your back and you come into a place of listening. And so this is from a book called Meditations from the Mat by Rolf Gates and Katrina Kennison. And the subject is Vairagya. Vairagya means non-attachment or renunciation. Before we are truly ready to renounce something, renunciation seems like a pointless sacrifice. Sure, we tell ourselves, I'd love to take a run every morning, but I really prefer to sleep in. But then there is a shift in perception. The furniture of our life gets moved, and we are forced to pay attention. A birth signals the death of an old way of life. More often than not, however, this shift in our perception is associated with some kind of loss, perhaps a literal death, or the death of some aspect of your false self. We may lose a coveted opportunity, or a door that we thought would always be open unexpectedly slams shut. Suddenly, we are seeing the world with new eyes. In the wake of this death, we are born to a new understanding. We are no longer at ease with the old dispensations. We look at our friends, our habits, our choices, and see them all in the new light as our old assumptions fall away. Now the soil of our life is ready for vairagya, non-attachment. But it is important to remember that the nature of all lasting change is less radical. Long before we actually die to an old behavior, the way has been paved for a new one. By the time we actually arrive at the decision to let go of something, we shall be glad of another death. When we are ready to let go, we will do so with relief. We will experience renunciation not as a death, but as a birth. Begin to deepen your breath. Begin to awaken through your fingertips and your toes. Moving your head right to left. When you're ready, breathing in, stretch your arms long overhead, bring your legs together. Breathe into the full length of the body from the fingertips to the toes. Use an exhalation to bend the knees. Start to roll off to a side. Pause in your fetal position for one full breath cycle. With as little effort as possible and an invitation to keep the eyes closed or a soft gaze, rise up to a comfortable seat. And as you revisit this seat, feel your sits bones rooting down, feel your spine growing tall. Let your palms rest facing down on the thighs. Bring your hands together at your heart. Bow your chin to your chest. Honor your effort.